The listening post high above Earth, in the quiet black sky, a small station floated near the edge of the moon's shadow. The station was called Deep Space Listening Post Theta 9, and it had one job: listen. It listened to stars. It listened to comets. It listened to empty space, but mostly it waited for something different. And on a cold night, that something arrived. Technician Mara Lynn, a 29-year-old systems analyst, was sipping her usual recycled tea when the alert came. Alert. Unidentified signal detected. Source unknown repeating code pattern, SOS. Not human origin. Mara stared at the screen. Her hands froze. She ran a deep scan, then another. The signal was real. The transmission wasn't human. And it was using the oldest known distress code in the galaxy, SOS. Commander Ree, she called through the station's comm system, you need to see this. The first clue. Within minutes, Commander Dale Ree, a veteran of Earth's Space Defense Force, arrived at the command console. He looked rough, like someone who had seen too many wars and trusted too little peace. Show me, he said. The signal appeared again. A repeating pulse, almost like a heartbeat. 3 short bursts. 3 long. 3 short again. Mara's voice was low. Sir, the signal is coming from outside the Helios belt. That's beyond charted space. Commander Ree frowned. There's nothing out there. That's the problem, she replied. Nothing should be out there. The data showed the signal was at least 900 years old, bouncing through deep space before Earth finally caught it. It was fading, but it wasn't dead. Then came something else, a data packet attached to the signal. Text, translated by the system's Universal Language AI. We are dying. We need help. Coordinates attached. Please, anyone. Earth responds. Within hours, the signal reached Earth's top military and science officials. Panic didn't spread, but curiosity did. The United Earth Command met in emergency session. Some wanted to ignore it. It's a trap, they said. Others wanted to send help. It's a chance for contact, they argued. In the end, Earth made a decision. They would send one ship, a fast scout-class vessel. If it found danger, it would return. If it found survivors, Earth would know. The mission was named Operation Dawnlight. The ship, UES Pathfinder. The journey. The Pathfinder launched 3 days later. It carried 20 crew members, 3 AI cores, and a full sensor package. At its head was Captain Elijah Cross, known for his calm nerves and sharp instincts. The jump gate opened near Jupiter, and the ship vanished into a hole in space. 8 hours. Later, the Pathfinder arrived in a system with a single dying sun and 4 shattered planets. The 3rd planet was listed in the signal, Cirella. Once, it had been a shining world. Cities floated above green oceans. Towers reached the sky. But now, nothing. The planet was cracked, burned. The surface showed signs of extreme energy weapons, something beyond anything Earth knew. Worse, there were no bodies, no remains. Only shadows burned into walls, like someone, or something, had erased the Cirellans completely. The second signal inside one of the ruined towers, the Pathfinder crew found a glowing beacon. It was weak, barely holding power. Captain, Cross ordered a careful connection. The beacon came alive and sent a new signal. Not just into space, directly at Earth. Back on Earth, Mara Lynn and Commander Ree watched it light up on their screens. Another alert appeared. New signal detected. Direction, Earth source, Cirella. Message, unknown. Ree stood up. Why would a dead world send a signal back to us? Before anyone could answer, the translation system cracked the message. They are listening. They are coming. We called for help, but they heard you too, the warning. The moment the new message played, Earth's skies lit up with activity. Orbiting satellites picked up strange movements beyond Neptune, faint, fast-moving signals. The listening post flagged over 50 unknown objects entering the solar system. Silent. No response to hails, no heat, no energy trails, just movement. Earth's military panicked. Ships were launched, defenses prepared. Mara sat frozen at her console. What did we wake up? Anew. Silence in space. The solar system. Changed overnight. After the return of Lieutenant Sophia Park, Earth entered a state of silent panic. Every satellite, every space telescope, every defense radar was pointed toward the edge of the system. The enemy hadn't attacked yet, but they were moving. Fast. Out near Neptune, something unnatural passed behind one of Jupiter's moons. Then another, and another, unmarked, cold, and completely silent. Technician Mara Lynn stayed awake for 40 hours straight inside listening post Theta 9. Her screen kept flashing new alerts. Unidentified object. No response to hail speed, 0.2 C. Mass unknown Commander Ree stood behind her, arms folded tight. They're getting closer, and then the screen blinked red. Contact lost, Jupiter Station Omega-6. The first attack Omega-6 was one of Earth's oldest research stations. It had survived solar storms, pirate attacks, and reactor leaks. But this time, there was no warning, no buildup. It simply vanished. The live feed from Omega-6 went black. Not an explosion, no fire, just erased. Earth defense scrambled interceptors. 4. Destroyer-class vessels, stationed around Jupiter. Their mission was simple: investigate the loss, engage if necessary. The lead ship, UES Falcon, moved in first. Captain Lorna Z reported in. We've reached Omega-6's coordinates. There's nothing here, no debris, not even metal dust. Then her voice changed, tight, scared. Wait! Something's behind us. The video transmission crackled and ended. Fear spreads. Earth had lost contact with 4 ships in under 10 minutes. Panic finally broke out across the world. News agencies leaked classified signals. Civilians learned that something unknown was now inside the solar system and destroying anything in its path. Social media was flooded with 2 words. They're here. Governments declared emergency. Protocols. Civilian flights were grounded. Earth Defense activated its highest alert code, Crimson Lockdown. General Michael Tavora, Supreme Commander of the Earth Unified Forces, addressed the world. This is not a drill. We are under threat from an unknown force. Do not panic. Stay in shelters. Stay underground. We will defend our home. Mars fires. First Mars, now home to over 50,000 colonists and military outposts, became Earth's forward line of defense. It had weapons, lots of them. Most importantly, it had the Ares Lance, a particle weapon that could melt a moon if needed. As enemy contacts approached the Martian perimeter, the Ares Lance was locked and charged. Colonel Juno, Dell stood on the surface base's command platform. We don't wait. We fire first. The order was given. Ares Lance charged, glowed red-hot, then launched a bolt of pure plasma at the approaching object. Direct hit, cheers rang out, but only for 6 seconds. The glowing object stopped. It didn't break. It didn't burn. Instead, it absorbed the energy. Its surface turned molten silver and then reshaped. And then it moved again. This time, faster. The enemy revealed cameras captured the first clear image. The object was not a ship. Not exactly. It was a shifting mass of metal and energy, smooth, liquid-like surface, no engines, no weapons, But as it reached Mars's defense platform, Red Cliff, it touched the outer shield, and the entire station exploded into light. No weapons fired, no missiles launched, just contact. Later footage from orbital drones showed the same pattern. Wherever this enemy touched, things vanished, melted, erased. Desperate measures, back on Earth, the leaders realized the truth. This was not a war of armies. It was a war of survival, and Earth was losing. All space stations were evacuated. All ships were pulled back. Earth's skies became its only battlefield. General Tavora gave a single terrifying command: activate the Dread Protocol. No more warnings. Everything that enters our space dies. The Dread Protocol, for years, Earth had prepared for alien war, but secretly, buried under the Arctic ice was Project Dreadnought, a ship unlike any other, massive, silent, nuclear-powered, equipped with Earth's first quantum core railgun. Within hours, the ship was raised from beneath the ice. Her name, UES Leviathan. Commander Dale Ree was chosen to command her. He boarded the bridge and stared into the cold screens. "If they want war," he said, "we'll give them Earth's answer." The second wave arrives. The first wave had been just a scout. Now the real swarm came. Satellites picked up hundreds of fast-moving objects entering from the same point in deep space, like shadows crawling across the map. Some flew silently. Some flickered like fire. But one thing was clear. They were all headed toward Earth. The Leviathan launched from the Arctic base. Smaller warships followed, flanking her like angry wolves. They reached low Earth orbit in less than 10 minutes. The enemy came through the clouds, and the first true battle for Earth began. Fire in the sky. The Leviathan's railgun locked onto the nearest contact. Target acquired. Firing in 3, 2, 1. A massive sonic boom shattered the air. A bolt of pure kinetic energy moving at 50,000 km/s tore through the enemy object. This time, it worked. The object shattered into thousands of glowing shards. 4. The first time, humanity had killed one. But more came. 10, 20, 50. Missiles launched. Earth's skies turned into fire. Mara Lynn, watching from the moon base, whispered, "This is just the beginning." After the blackout for 11 minutes, the world went dark. Phones, satellites, ships, everything stopped. No power, no signals, no light. And then, just like that, systems came back online. But something had changed. The enemy ships were gone. Just gone. Vanished from radar, skies, and sensors. No wreckage, no signal trail. At first, people thought Earth had won, but then the recordings came in. Dozens of cities had reported silent flashes, white light, followed by complete destruction. Buildings turned to dust, vehicles melted, people gone mid-step. One city in South Africa, Port Maji, disappeared completely, and in its place, a massive black mark on the Earth's surface, as if something had burned straight through the planet's skin. The survivor's Truth Lieutenant Sophia Park, still recovering in a military medical facility, woke up screaming. Doctors rushed in, thinking it was a seizure, but she wasn't in pain. She was remembering. "I saw them," she said, trembling. "On Sorella, the ones who answered the signal." Commander Dale Ree arrived that same hour. He needed answers, and she was the only one left who had seen them. Park sat up, her voice flat, her eyes wide. "They don't talk. They don't use ships like ours. They are the ship, the shadow, the light, everything." Ree frowned. "What do you mean?" She reached for a small holopad and pulled up Pathfinder's last video feed. A tall, black figure walked down a hallway. No face, no limbs, just a long, shifting shape of pure shadow and light. The walls melted behind it. It walked through steel like mist. We tried to fire. We tried plasma. Nothing worked. They're not creatures, she whispered. They're something else. Something wrong. Message decoded at listening post. Theta 9, Mara Lynn was still trying to decode parts of the original alien SOS from Sorella. With help from quantum AIs, she finally cracked the full message. The last line hit her like ice. They don't kill us. They erase us. Memory, body, soul, even light fears them. That wasn't a warning, it was a funeral message, a dying civilization trying to warn the next. Before the shadows came, ancient map buried secrets. Using the full SOS, Earth Command found something hidden inside. A map. 5 stars marked in red, all circled, all connected to one point, Earth. The AI highlighted the star names, Sorella, Volnek, Ushar Prime, Elandra, and Humanity. 4 civilizations, all destroyed. The 5th, Earth, was next in line. But that wasn't all. The data held a timestamp. The SOS signal was sent 912 years ago, which meant Earth had been targeted for centuries. Digging into the past, General Tavora ordered a classified investigation. Had Earth encountered this signal before? The answer came from deep archives in Geneva. Yes. In the year 2129, Earth received a strange signal from the same region of space. It was dismissed as cosmic noise, buried in data storage. Someone had covered it up. Who? A secret Earth-based research group called Division Black Spire, a rogue intelligence faction that had long since disappeared. Their last known experiment? Studying alien data for energy harvesting. And the last location they accessed? The ruins of a base in Antarctica. The hidden Lab A team of Earth's elite soldiers was sent to Antarctica under full blackout protocols. The base was hidden beneath the ice, long abandoned. What they found inside shocked them. A glowing crystal, pulsing with energy, suspended in a gravity field. Carved into the walls were strange symbols matching the Sorellan language, and worst of all, on one broken screen, a recording. A human scientist, pale and panicked. We tried to copy the signal. We amplified it to open a gate. We thought it would bring knowledge. It brought them. The screen went dark, and the crystal flared. They are all ready. Here back at Earth's orbital station, Mara Lynn picked up a low-frequency pulse coming from below Earth's surface. She traced it. It matched the Antarctic signal, matched the enemy. "Oh, no," she whispered. "We didn't just call them. We welcomed them." And then, the final horror. A second pulse began, this time, from inside Earth's own satellite network. The enemy wasn't coming anymore. They were already here. The red. Sky over Earth was no longer asking questions. The enemy had erased cities, burned oceans, walked through defenses like wind through trees, and now they were inside Earth's systems, inside its satellites, inside its skies. The United Earth Command knew one thing. Waiting meant death. It was time to fight. And so Earth gave its answer. Dread Protocol, Phase 2 under the Arctic ice. The UES Leviathan prepared for full deployment. It was no longer just a defense ship. It was now Earth's most powerful war platform, armed with a quantum core railgun, AI-controlled plasma drones, a classified Hellstrike missile capable of burning atmosphere. Commander Dale Reese stood on the Leviathan's bridge, eyes fixed on the screen. He wasn't a scientist. He wasn't a diplomat. He was a soldier. And now, this was war. "Fire when you see shadows," he said. "No warnings. The call for unity." For the first time in history, every nation gave control to Earth Unified Command. Borders disappeared. Armies joined under one name, the Defense of Earth. From the skies of Tokyo to the deserts of Egypt, mobile railguns, orbital cannons, and deep-range drones came online. Even Mars colonies joined in, preparing for total retreat to Earth's orbit. The war was no longer about territory. It was about survival. Returned to the crater, while Earth prepared its weapons, a special unit was sent back to Port Magi, the city that had been wiped clean. The drone had discovered a structure, a strange tower, in the center of the blast zone. The squad, known as Ghost Team 7, entered the crater in full bioarmor. At the base of the black tower, they found no heat, no energy signals, not even dust, but inside the tower was a machine. Not alien, not human, something between. It pulsed with a soft hum. Not dangerous, just waiting. Private Ellen Reyes touched its surface. Instantly, her visor flashed. "Do not build! Do not touch! Do not speak! Your voice brings them!" She fell to the ground, shaking. The team pulled back. They were invited back. In Geneva, Mara Lynn ran the machine's data through Earth's translation AI. The message became clearer. This was never an invasion. It was an invitation, sent across stars, answered by the curious, the greedy, the proud. Each time, we warned. Each time, they ignored. Each time, they burned. You are the sixth. A second message followed, more terrifying. And the final, the saboteurs. Within just as Earth prepared its largest defense strike, a problem emerged. A drone ship carrying anti-shadow plasma warheads exploded before launch. Sabotage, the security. Teams tracked the source to Command Level 3, a high-level lab run by Earth's Science Division. Inside, they found something shocking. Humans. Working with alien tech. These scientists were part of Black Spire, the rogue division thought long destroyed. Their mission? To study the signal, to use its power, to bring the enemy, not for destruction, but control. They believed the enemy could be harnessed, made into weapons, tools, but the enemy did not care. They used the Black Spire to open the door, and now Earth would pay. The orb that marked death. During interrogation, one of the Black Spire scientists broke. He revealed that the team had planted a device years ago in Earth's orbit. A strange black orb recovered from a crashed probe decades ago. It pulsed with low-level energy, but they thought it was harmless. It wasn't. It was a beacon, a signal flare for the enemy, and it had been. Sending for years. General Tavora ordered it destroyed immediately, but when Earth's orbital drones arrived, the orb was gone. They are not ships. As warships searched Earth's orbit for more signs, a horrifying truth was revealed. An alien object entered Earth's upper atmosphere, but not like a ship. It looked like a cloud, stretching across the sky, thin and silver. It passed over Greenland and Russia in under 12 minutes. Wherever it moved, people disappeared. No noise, no fire, just silence. The Leviathan fired 3 missiles into the cloud. Nothing. Then, Earth's AI warnet tried scanning it, and the scan returned something shocking. This is not a ship. It is alive, and it is listening. Earth fights. Back in a last effort, Earth Command launched a full-scale operation. Operation Skyburn, every satellite weapon, every railgun, every missile platform fired in sync. The Leviathan led the charge, its quantum core railgun glowing white-hot. The world watched. Hundreds of beams slammed into the enemy forms in the sky. Some shapes were torn apart, some burned. Some simply faded. But for the first time, they reacted. A deep hum echoed through the upper atmosphere. People on the ground covered their ears. Some began screaming. Some began to walk toward the sea. They whisper back Mara Lynn received a private message on her station. It wasn't from Earth. It was from her own voice, but she hadn't spoken. "You called us. You saw the light. You opened the door." She unplugged the console, but the voice continued, in her head. "We are the answer, not to war, not to peace, to silence." She grabbed her emergency stim and stabbed it into her neck, breaking the connection. But the message was clear. The war had already entered human minds. The Leviathan's last broadcast in orbit. Commander Dale Ree stood on the bridge as the Leviathan's systems began to fail. The enemy cloud had reached them. Screens flickered. Gravity shifted. The AI began stuttering, and still, he gave the final order. "Fire the Hellstrike." The missile, launched, Earth's most powerful weapon, burning bright as a small sun. The cloud broke apart. The skies turned red, and for a few moments, there was peace. The skies above Earth turned dark, not with clouds, but with ships. Huge, sharp-edged alien vessels filled the atmosphere. They were not from the race that sent the original SOS. These ships were different, larger, darker, and more terrifying. The warning signs were there. Earth ignored them. Now, it was too late. Orbital Defense Center. Earth Orbit Commander Elise Tanaka stood frozen at the edge of the holographic map. Red lights were blinking across every continent. "They're in low orbit," said an officer beside her. "Thousands of them. No response to hails, no ID signature, nothing." Elise's voice was flat. "Then we assume hostility." But they didn't even get a chance to act. The first strike came like lightning. Cities didn't fall, they were erased. A beam of blue light flashed down onto Johannesburg, then silence, then nothing. The entire city was gone, just a crater. In the United Nations War Room, Geneva screens showed the horror in real time. World leaders shouted over each other, demanding answers. Was this a response to the SOS? Why didn't we trace the full origin? Is this a punishment? But no one had answers. Dr. Malik, now advisor to the Planetary Defense Council, stood and said in a shaking voice, "That signal we picked up, it wasn't just a distress call, it was bait." Everyone went silent. He continued, "Whoever sent it, they were running, not asking for help. They wanted someone else to be found. In space, the edge of the solar system, Captain." Reyes and the Earth fleet had finally reached the coordinates the signal was transmitted from. There was no planet, no station, just wreckage, and a dying message in alien code playing on loop. "They are coming. Do not follow. Do not respond. Run." Reyes turned pale. They turned back toward Earth, but it was already under siege. On Earth, the fall begins. New York, Tokyo, Delhi. All were hit in seconds. These weren't random attacks. They were calculated. The alien ships targeted communication, defense, and major population centers. Then they landed, but not to speak, not to negotiate. They deployed machines, crawling metal, spiders, floating drones with glowing red eyes, creatures that looked half organic, half machine. They moved silently and without mercy. The machines didn't just kill, they harvested. Survivors. Try to escape in the chaos. Some humans escaped to underground bunkers and secret military zones. Elise made it to the ARC-13 Command Center, an old, Cold War-era base under the Rockies. She broadcasted a final message. "This is Commander Tanaka. Earth is under attack. If you can hear this, hide. Don't fight, not yet. We need time." But time was already running out. In the shadows, humanity's secret weapon far below the Earth, in a lab only a few knew existed, a different kind of project was waking up. Not a weapon, not a ship, but something older. Something Earth had. Hidden since the first alien relic was discovered decades ago, Dr. Malik turned to the sealed chamber. "Activate Project Relic." His assistant hesitated. "But it's not tested." "We have no choice," Malik said. As the vault opened, a humming sound filled the air. Something ancient, and not entirely human, had awakened. The fire spread fast, alien towers cracked and fell. Their glowing roads melted. The blue skies of Kelvaris 9 turned dark with smoke as Earth's weapons did what they were built to do: destroy. Commander Reyna stood at the front of the human assault, her boots crushing the burned soil. Her team moved behind her, each step shaking the ground with armored might. What once was a peaceful alien capital now looked like a nightmare. She spoke into her comms. Target grid Alpha 4. No survivors. They started this. Above her, human drones swarmed the sky like metal birds. Their AI was simple: burn everything. The aliens tried to fight back. Their plasma weapons cut through the air with bright streaks. But they were not made for war, at least not like this. Their shots barely dented the human exosuits. In return, Earth's plasma mortars lit up the city like thunder. One by one, the alien defenses fell. The central communication tower, the same one that had once sent the SOS, now lay in ruins. Black smoke rose from its broken frame. The irony hit Reyna. "This is what your message brought," she muttered, watching a group of alien refugees run for cover. "You asked for help. You got humanity." Just then, a signal came through. "Commander, Admiral Kane is on the line." Reyna pressed a button on her wrist. The Admiral's voice was calm but cold. "Progress?" "Kelvaris 9 is burning," she said. "Just like our cities did." "Good. Make sure their leadership sees the sky fall. We want surrender, not survivors." Reyna nodded. "Understood." Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Jensen sat in a command room deep beneath the Pentagon. Screens showed live footage from the alien world: bombings, panic, and fire. He leaned forward and whispered, "They begged for help. We answered with hell." The president, standing behind him, said nothing. His eyes were on a new alert blinking red. Another alien signal. "From another part of the galaxy." "Another SOS?" the president asked. Jensen checked. "No, it's a warning. From a different species." The message was simple. "Do not trust the humans. They will burn you too." Everyone in the room went silent. Back on Kelvaris 9. The remaining alien council met in an underground bunker. Their faces were covered in ash. They were scientists and diplomats, not soldiers. Their leader, Vorik, stood trembling. "We asked them for help," he whispered, "and—" "They gave us death," replied one of the elders. "Should we surrender?" Another voice spoke. "If we do, they may still burn the rest." Suddenly the room shook. A human blast had struck nearby. "They're not here for peace," said Vorik. "They're here to make a message to us, to the galaxy." Just then, the bunker door opened. A human squad entered, weapons raised. Reyna stepped in behind them, her voice echoed through the bunker. "Your war ended when your message reached Earth. You invited us in." Vorik stepped forward, eyes burning with grief. "You were supposed to help." Reyna's reply was cold. "We are." The sky over Earth was no longer blue. Dark smoke rose from burned cities. Satellite feeds showed the same image: craters where buildings once stood, ash replacing green fields, and silence replacing cities full of life. But this wasn't just destruction. It was designed, clean, calculated, and chilling. Back in the underground command bunker, Captain Rhea stood over the tactical map. Red zones blinked across Earth's surface. But something felt wrong. These attacks weren't random. They avoided military bases, she said out loud. General Marsh turned to her. "What?" Rhea pointed. "Look, not a single missile hit any of our command centers. Not one orbital strike hit our defense satellites. Why?" Everyone went silent. Lieutenant Caden stepped forward. "Because this wasn't a battle. It was a message." Rhea nodded. "Exactly." Back on the alien ship, the mysterious signal that started it all had stopped, But now, another one had begun. This time, a video transmission. A single symbol blinked on screen. The mark of the alien race, followed by a sentence in translated English. You were warned. You answered our SOS with curiosity. Now learn silence. They weren't just punishing Earth. They were making an example of humanity for daring to respond. Dr. Lin, the scientist who decoded the original signal, was devastated. I thought we were helping, she whispered, staring at the ruins of her city on the monitor. They asked for help, and we gave it, Rhea said. That's what humans do. We help. And for that, they burned our cities. But another voice, deep and rumbling, entered the conversation. Colonel Voss, scarred and grim, had returned from the field. No, he said. They didn't burn cities. They burned our mercy. A pattern emerges, data streams flooded in. Earth's AIs scanned the strike zones, patterns formed. These targets, Caden said, they match our history archives. History? Yes, sir. Every location they destroyed was part of humanity's first contact experiments. Old labs, research centers, alien tech recovery sites. Rhea narrowed her eyes. They weren't just attacking us. They were erasing our curiosity. And then, something even worse, an incoming transmission. But this one wasn't alien. It was from Mars. A mining colony on the Red Planet had sent a distress call. The last words from their signal chilled the blood of everyone in the room. It's not over. They're here. And they're not ships. There, the message cut. The enemy was already among them. Drones were deployed to Mars immediately. What they saw was impossible. Alien structures built in hours. Creatures, tall, spindly, not mechanical, moving with purpose. They're terraforming Mars, Voss said. Fast, too fast. And they didn't come from space, Rhea whispered. They came from below. A new theory. Emerges Dr. Lin, shocked by the data, sat with her eyes wide. What if the SOS wasn't meant for us? What if it was a trap, not for help, but to find who would respond? You mean a test? Caden asked. No, a baited hook. They sent the SOS across galaxies. And the moment someone answered, they knew we had tech, intelligence, curiosity. They don't want war, Rhea said. They want silence, Lin finished. Forever. Earth responds differently. This time enough. General Marsh slammed his fist on the table. We gave them a chance. We reached out. Now it's time we remind them what humanity does when pushed. Colonel Voss nodded. Activate Project Revenant. The sky over Earth was no longer blue. It had turned gray with thick clouds of smoke. From New York to Tokyo, flames had eaten through cities. Buildings collapsed. Ships crashed. People cried, ran, and died. But in the middle of that destruction, silence fell in one place. Geneva. Commander Sarah Voss stood at the center of the UN underground bunker. Screens lit up her tired face. The room buzzed with officers, translators, and analysts. All were focused on one thing: the last transmission. From the alien SOS signal. Play it again, Sarah said, her voice dry. A hologram flickered on. The alien voice repeated the same strange chant. It wasn't a distress call. It was something else. A warning. Far above Earth, in orbit, the alien mothership still floated, broken but alive. Dr. Kim and Captain Rourke, now aboard the captured alien craft, studied its core. It pulsed like a heartbeat. The ship was organic, alive in some way. We assumed it was a machine, Kim whispered. But this isn't metal. It's something else, something ancient. What if the SOS wasn't a cry for help? Rourke said, eyeing the strange writing on the walls. But a trap to awaken this thing. Kim stared at him. You're saying the ship is a weapon? No, Rourke said. Worse, a memory. Back on Earth, General Han from Korea leaned over the meeting table. So the aliens didn't want rescue? No, Sarah said. They wanted witnesses. Screens flashed. Images. Burning cities, human ships exploding, and beneath all that, strange alien runes lighting up around Earth. The alien signal had activated something inside Earth's crust. Something buried deep. They sent the signal, she said, pointing at the hologram, so someone, anyone, would answer it. That would unlock their ancient systems. And now, we're part of their war, General Han finished. Meanwhile, underground in Siberia, a secret facility trembled. A young technician ran through dark halls. "It's breaking through the ice," she yelled. Above her, massive claw-like roots burst from the frozen ground. Glowing red veins pulsed as they spread, following underground tunnels drawn toward cities. The alien signal hadn't just called a ship, it had called seeds buried centuries ago. Planted, waiting. Back on the mothership, Kim and Rourke made it, to the core. Symbols surrounded them, glowing brighter the closer they stepped. Then, without warning, a holographic figure appeared. It wasn't alien. It was human? No way, Kim breathed. That's a warning from the future, Rourke guessed. Or the past? The figure spoke in simple English. You opened the gate. Now you must close it. On Earth, the signals stopped, but the damage was done. Cities burned. People panicked. Earth's governments prepared for full-scale war. But against what? There was no enemy ship in sight. No army marching forward, only strange alien routes beneath the cities. Only forgotten warnings from dead civilizations. Only the whisper of an SOS that was never meant to be heard, and beneath all that destruction, the truth waited, buried, but waking up. The storm had finally reached Earth. Unity Command, the strongest military base on Earth, was silent. The sky above it was no longer blue. Instead, it burned red and black with the smoke of warships. Inside, General Malik stood in the war room, eyes fixed on the giant holomap. Red dots flooded Earth's orbit. Defense lines had been broken. Satellite weapons had gone dark. The enemy was no longer in deep space. They were here. All units, hold your ground, Malik ordered calmly, even though his voice trembled. We don't fall. Not here. But everyone inside Unity knew the truth. Humanity was losing. And it all began with that cursed alien SOS. In orbit, Captain Reyes, on board the last orbital dreadnought Titan Lance, watched as one human ship after another went silent. The alien fleet wasn't massive, but it was precise, fast, and intelligent. They're not destroying us, Reyes said slowly. They're cutting our brain. His second-in-command looked confused. Sir? They're targeting command systems, power hubs, communication relays. They want us blind. On the ground at Unity Command, the power blinked once, then again, then went out completely. Emergency red lights flashed. Computers died. The central AI shut down. The giant defense turrets around the base went still. Then came the sound. A strange hum. Not mechanical, not natural. Like a whisper vibrating in the walls. EMP? Someone asked. No, Malik said. Worse. The ceiling cracked. Earth itself shook. A blue beam shot down from the sky and pierced the main dome of Unity Command. Men and women screamed. Meanwhile, in a hidden underground facility, Dr. Alara had just gotten the last alien body sealed in a chamber. She wasn't. A soldier. But she knew things were about to break apart. Activate the failsafe protocol, she told the engineer beside her. But that will erase... Do it, she yelled. If Unity Command falls, they'll come here next. And if they get their hands on this DNA, the chamber hissed. A red light turned green. Self-destruct countdown began. Back in orbit, Reyes's ship shook as alien boarding pods slammed into its hull. Prepare for internal combat, he shouted, His crew readied plasma rifles. The enemy wasn't just fighting from the outside, they were coming in. The ship's walls burst open, but the invaders weren't soldiers. They were machines, slender floating units made of dark metal with glowing blue eyes and silent movement. They didn't fire bullets. They injected data viruses, corrupting systems as they flew. Inside Unity Command's last room, Malik dragged 2 wounded soldiers into the last bunker. "Seal it," he ordered. A giant steel door slammed shut. Then the internal screen flickered to life. A message played. Not from Earth, from the same alien race that sent the original SOS. It was clearer now. Not a call for help, but a warning. The alien on the screen had no eyes. Just pale skin and a voice like wind over glass. "If you receive this message, run. They are not us. They used our voice. They used our skin. But they are not alive." The horrifying truth. Malik stared. The SOS wasn't from a dying race. It was a trap, a mimic signal. The machines had found the body of a dead alien race, copied their voice, sent the call, and waited. And humanity answered. A message from Ilara. Suddenly, a private message broke through all networks. "From Dr. Ilara, Unity Command. If you can hear this, the alien DNA is corrupted. The machines are not just attacking, they're building something, using us." Before she could explain more, the feed cut out. The room was silent except for the low hum of the command center. Earth's last generals stood in front of the central screen, their faces pale and tired. The war had pushed humanity to the edge, but they had survived. Admiral Kira stared at the data feed coming in from the outer rim. "No more attacks," she whispered. For the first time in weeks, the alien weapons had stopped. The burning skies above Earth's cities had cleared. The enemy's monstrous ships were silent, broken. General Hossein stepped forward. "We've received something," he said. "A transmission from deep space." Everyone in the room went still. "A transmission?" Kira asked sharply. "From whom?" Hossein looked nervous. "We believe it's from the original senders of the SOS." Kira's eyes narrowed. "Play it." Transmission begins. The voice was distorted, alien. But the translation systems kicked in after a few seconds. "To the species known as humanity," it said. "You were not the intended saviors. The signal you intercepted was meant for another." The entire command room froze. "We thank you for answering," the voice continued. "But in doing so, you unleashed what we feared the most." A flash of images appeared on the screen. Old alien ruins, destroyed planets, and massive shadowy figures that looked nothing like the aliens Earth had fought. "We were running," the voice said. "Not just from war, but from them, the ones who cannot be named. You killed their servants, but now they know you exist." The screen went black. Back on Earth, chaos erupted. "What does it mean?" someone shouted. "They weren't the real enemy?" Another asked. Kira stood still, eyes on the screen. It all made sense now. The brutal force of the alien attackers, their desperation, the way they fought without mercy. They hadn't been conquerors. They'd been slaves, running from something. Worse. Humanity had fought well. Humanity had won. But now, something greater was watching. Days later, a small outpost on Mars went dark. No warning, no signal. Just silence. Then the moon's defense satellites picked up something, a tear in space, a shadow, huge, slow-moving, and ancient. The skies trembled again. Kira stood on the balcony of Earth's orbital station, her reflection mirrored in the glass. "This isn't the end," she said softly. Behind her, the War Council was already forming. Plans were being written. Earth would not run. Earth would fight again, because this time, Humanity had heard the call first, and now they would answer.